Previously on Outside Watch, we experienced the magic of Maramba Bay. We traded with the locals, and we set sail to the remote Bali Bay, Madagascar.
Ready to leave Madagascar?
Yes.
You are.
Well, it's a gloomy day.
It's a sign that we should go.
We've eaten so many shellfish in the last week. We need to go find some red meat in South Africa. It's biltong. We go for some lamb or some beef.
Alright. Let's go to South Africa.
Let's go.
Our little flotilla was on the move again down the notorious Mozambique Channel. Although we were bound for Richards Bay, South Africa, our weather window only showed about 5 days of northeast wind. Our strategy would be to cross the channel and follow the Mozambique coast, where we could duck in and shelter if a southerly blow were to come through. Without a forecast, it looked like we were aiming for the island of Bazaruto for a brief weather stop.
I'm wearing a hat for the Mozambique Channel Continental Cooking Challenge. Each day we're doing a different continent and we have to cook a meal from there. But we have very little food left. It's be very difficult. Tonight's Asian, so we're doing a prawn tempura and a sesame marlin with wasabi and soy. Now it's gonna be hard after this, but we're up for the challenge. Yeah, some prawn tempura, very lightly battered, and there's wasabi soy dipping sauce and also a spicy seafood sauce. A bed of white rice with fish teriyaki made with marlin and a homemade teriyaki sauce. Here you go. Some chopsticks. Mango sticky rice topped with black sesame seeds and coconuts. Oh, hey. I'm making a Moroccan tagine. It's our African continent theme tonight. Making a couscous with some toasted almonds and some blackened lime chicken, and I'll put a little bit of feta in there as well. One chicken tagine coming right up. We have blackened lime chicken on couscous with almonds, feta, and tomato balimbi. We have a marlin carpaccio with balsamic tomato reduction and feta, and homemade flatbread. Start of our European night. Good?
Yeah. Amazing.
Whoa, this one might be one of the best meals we've had yet. Oh, the hat. Shoot. Check this out.
Wow.
Risotto made with crab bouillon from Maramba Bay, made by Seb. And there's goat cheese in there. And garlic onion. And then 2 big prawns.
You know what's really nice?
What?
The engine's off. And we're sailing again. There's wind.
This is fantastic.
And the sun's going down.
Okay, let's sit down and eat.
Do you think other cruisers eat like this on passage?
Probably Morant.
Maybe Moran, but I don't know a lot of other people.
Wow.
This is not a pre-made meal.
No, we don't pre-make meals, even in the shittiest of weather. Look at the sunset! Wow.
Would you just look at it?
This is perfect.
This passage is interesting because there's a lot of currents involved. Basically, Jen, if you come in close to the screen. So we set off from Madagascar right here, in Bali Bay, and the strategy is to go due west until you hit the Mozambique coast because there's a current that spins kind of like this. And if you go southwest, you'll hit the current against you, and if you go this way, if you go west, you'll get some current taking you over to the coast and then down again. But now we're here, and the forecast didn't really hold out for us, and we're motoring because there's absolutely no wind. And we need to make good time because the forecast keeps changing. It looks like it's going to fill in tonight briefly and then die again, and then on Tuesday it's going to get quite strong. And we think that's going to get us into Bazaruto hopefully on Thursday. So if it doesn't, this is the problem. So the reason why I've chosen the Mozambique coast is because there's places to stop in when a southerly blow comes, and it looks like there's one possibly coming on Friday. Then you look there, that's Friday at 3 a.m. We need to be in before that. I think we'll make it probably Thursday midday. And another problem in Bazaruto as well is there's a lot of sandbanks everywhere, and they shift, so you need to arrive with good light and preferably on a low tide, so that way if you do hit a sandbank, the tide will lift you up quickly and you can get off again and continue to the anchorage. So we need to arrive Thursday during the day at low tide. It's very complicated. It's not ideal. We're going to burn some diesel to get there by Thursday, I think. We're going to have to motor sail in these really light winds. We can't afford to just drift or go 3 knots any longer. We need to keep speed. So, yeah. Anyways, I just waking up now. I've got coffee. Jen woke me up 2 nights ago. Not 2 nights ago. Last night, she woke me up from one of my shifts by blasting the song "I'm on a Boat" by The Lonely Island. If you know the song, you know. It's a funny song, but not when you're super tired at 2 in the morning getting ready to come on shift. So I was not happy about that. So this morning she woke me up saying, "Hey, it's your time to go on shift and there's coffee brewing for you."
Coffee is ready. Chris, honey? It's time to wake up whenever you're ready. Some fresh coffee waiting for you.
Much better. So yeah, just kind of waking up now. It's be a good day. And I'm excited to see Bazaruto because it looks absolutely incredible. Just giant sand dunes and crystal clear blue water. That's all to report morning of day 3 or 4 or something. Don't even remember now.
casual South American meal. I made some empanadas, and I made 2 different types of sauces: a spicy queso, and then one, well, it's just a tomato bouillabaisse. Yeah, pasta.
One of those mornings where the sailing is just so good. I can just sit here and stare at the waves and the sea for hours. Listen to music really loud and get the goosebumps just because it's just so cool. The power and knowing this amazing adventure that we're on. And it's a good morning. It's a really good morning and I'm so excited. So we're just about 10 to 12 hours away from Bazaruto now. This is the island of Bazaruto. But there's a lot of factors coming into play here for getting to the anchorage, which is right here. You can see, this is the satellite image, all these shallow sandbanks that we have to navigate around. Now we have a set of waypoints that are good from other people that have been used that should get us around. But it's recommended you do this in the daytime when you can see all these sandbanks. But unfortunately, the way it's looking, we're gonna arrive at night. And also, it's a spring tide right now with a 3 to 4 meter tidal range. So it's also recommended you do this with a rising tide. In case you hit one of these sandbanks, the tide will lift you off within a few minutes and you can continue. But unfortunately, we're arriving in the dark and most likely with a falling tide. And the falling tide also has another negative consequence right now with the spring tides is the current's gonna be running north. It's really, in some places up to 4 knots. So there's that problem. Now we could just slow down and arrive tomorrow morning at low tide and with the correct current running south. But the problem with that is the wind. So this is us right about now. We're sailing downwind. But in tonight, probably right about the time we're getting close, the wind starts to shift out of the south. So when we're getting there, this is at 1:30 in the morning, we have 20 knots of wind out of the south. And we can sail that, no problem, but it'd be a lot nicer to be in the protection behind the island. And it's gonna be, from our position here, going to here, we're gonna be pointing quite high in at 20 knots in the middle of the night. That's not very fun. So that's why I don't think we want to slow down. I think we're going to try to at least get there. So our options are pretty limited. There's like 20 different factors going into this, and we don't have all the information really until we arrive and see when we arrive. Another option is going to be just to drift somewhere out here until first light and go in. It's really complicated. So we just don't know. We don't know what we're going to do yet. We just have to wait and see. Basically, we're arriving at the absolute worst possible time. The best time would have been like when our friend Martin arrived on Mestiza, which was like 2 in the afternoon today, because he had light and a rising tide, which is what we want. But I don't know if we're going to get all those factors lining up for us perfectly. And he had good wind. So we've got bad wind, bad tide, bad light. So this is what we're up against right now. But eventually we're going to anchor right there. And it looks really beautiful. So hopefully it's all worth it.
Mr. Fork.
Alright, what do we got, Jen?
We have sweet potato casserole and fried chicken. extra breadcrumbs, American style, huge.
Nice.
Very nice. Which one would you like? Would you like the drumstick or the wing?
Oh, you choose. I don't care.
They're both about the same. This one's kind of butchered. I had to cut it up so it cooked evenly.
You choose.
Okay. Oh, it's a big responsibility. I'll take this one. Do you want Nando's or do you want anything else?
Nando's.
Cool. Alright, I'll meet you up top. I just woke up from my nap and there are tons of squalls around. We didn't have any squalls almost the whole time. And then now, we have this. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty intense. There's a lot of lightning outside. We have our devices in the microwave.
We had 20 knots of wind from behind us, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this squall comes up on radar, huge one, and the wind shifted 180 degrees within 2 minutes, and 25 knots on the nose. So remember when I was talking about all those variables about trying to get into this anchorage? You know, we had the tide, the current, the sandbars, the fact that we're arriving at night, all these things working against us, and now we have squalls everywhere. So we're waiting for these squalls to pass before we attempt a night entry. Thankfully we arrived before high tide, so we're gonna have a current with us and a rising tide, so that's good. But we're gonna wait for these squalls to pass because they're huge and there's a lot of lightning, and I don't want to get struck by lightning tonight.
Yeah, this sucks.
This is the sketchiest fucking thing I think we've ever done in this boat. And I'm gonna need rum when we get there.
Although a little sketchy, in the end we safely navigated around the shallows in the dark using waypoints and satellite imagery.
Just woke up. Slept like maybe 3-4 hours. We arrived around 4 a.m. last night. So getting up and looking at the landscape for the first time. It looks quite beautiful here. There's a little village over there. It'll be fun to go exploring later. And we've also got Morant. He's just behind us. I got a message from Sagarani, Claire and Joe, about an hour ago, so they're 10 miles out. So they should be coming down the channel right now. We'll see them soon. And tonight we're having a big party on the beach, I think. Yes! Cheers, cheers, cheers.
And a wonderful message to Richard's Bay.
Richard's Bay, yes.
Richard's Bay.
Next time on Outside Watch, we explore Bazaruto, Mozambique.
It looks really shallow.
Our depth sounder momentarily reads 0.
Oh, I'm like shaking.
And we finally arrive in Richards Bay, South Africa.